Good morning. This is SoCal Bob, and it is the morning of the 24th. It's a Wednesday, and I'm going to be on a big Zoom call today. And as I was sleeping, I was thinking about some of my connections, some of my relationships, and I was realizing that some of these folks that I have relationship with, they got long fingers, really long fingers. I mean, their fingers are like, you ever seen those people that have the fingernails and they wrap around and so if you're having a conversation with someone, there's got to be some admissions. I'm going to college. No, not that kind of admission. The admission that says, oh, okay, I get that point. Let's give you a counterpoint. And you go back and forth. That's what a real conversation is. If you're not getting the back and forth, and I've done this, and I was my mistake. That's why I'm pointing it out. I don't ever just do these tapes just for fun. Well, let me spin the wheel, Jimmy. Let's pick a random subject. No, I these things come from my heart. And I talked to my sister yesterday. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. And she was pointing out that she was concerned. Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, and I told her the background of what I was going through, and she was like, oh, I was just concerned because it seemed like, I said, yeah, definitely. I use my channel here to process through and to try to figure out and give my point of view, because there are different perspectives. Boy, that throat thing, whatever it is, it's not really anything, but something. So how do we know if the person is really in a conversation? If you're in a conversation, you have a point of view, like, think of it like evidence. Think of it like this, like, somebody says, yeah, loser. Yeah, loser. Loser. And you're like, well, here's my scoreboard, and here's all my wins. And yeah, I did suffer a few losses, but 75%, which is a significant number, are wins. I got 25% loss, but 75% wins. That you're characterizing me as being a loser when there's more to it. You're a loser. Because you're a loser, you're off the team. Sir, I heard some of the famous basketball people, if you look at their shot records, the guy says, I was in this game and I missed. I was in that game and I missed. I was in this game and I missed. Missing is part of the game. You're not going to get 100% out of 100%. Jesus did. Jesus was 100%. He but he picked Judas. See, he's a loser. No, he's not a loser. Jesus knew what was supposed to happen, and it was all his purpose. So if I'm talking to you and if I tell you that I've changed or I've done something, or I hear what you're saying and we're going to apply that, then I think you can trust that Robert will apply and listen and follow through on what it is that we're talking about. And if someone's not willing to hear any evidence that will show that, Joe Smith was not in Wisconsin at the time of the crime. He was actually in Florida. I heard of a case like this years ago where the fella, he had all this evidence that he was in Florida, but they tried to get him to be into New York to commit a crime, and he suffered for years in prison because they wouldn't allow the evidence. Well, on one of his appeals, the building was being torn down, and it had been 12 years since he asked for the evidence to be presented. And the lady Margaret, she said, "Hey, Freddie, what's up on that shelf over there?" So they brought it down. It was the evidence that he'd asked for like 12 years before. He'd been in prison for 12 years suffering. And it was an inept failure on the part of the office to not present the evidence. So if you're a Christian, I pray that you'll listen to those who are talking to you. I pray that you'll take what they're saying to heart. I pray that you'll get back to them and have that conversation, because no one should be suffering because we're unwilling to listen. Let's be good listeners, amen? And let's be fair and right and just, amen, amen.